Hi, I'm Darren Pleasance, President and CEO of AOPA.
And I'm Michelle Walker, AOPA video producer.
This is part 2 of our Citabria series where we're demonstrating just good old core stick and rudder skills. Today we're going to focus on maneuvers like wingovers, spins. We'll actually come back into the pattern and do a bunch of different landings as well as slips to landings. So looking forward to taking you on the journey with us.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Join AOPA today. Thanks to Lightspeed for sponsoring this video. Click below to learn more about the Lightspeed Delta Zulu.
While we're up here high, before we do spins, let's do some wingovers.
Okay.
And wingovers are the kind of maneuver that they can be aerobatic. We don't have chutes today, so we're not going to do the aerobatic version of them where we'd be doing more than 30 degrees of pitch or 60 degrees of bank, but you can. But the beauty of them, you can do them in any airplane, especially if you don't do the aerobatic versions, you can do them in any airplane. And what's great about them is they are a great way to be practicing hand-eye rudder or feet coordination, because everything's changing. Your airspeed's changing as you're climbing or descending, the bank angle's changing, the ratio of elevator, aileron, and rudder that you're putting in is changing to keep everything coordinated. And if you do it right, it is a coordinated maneuver. The main difference across airplanes is, in an airplane like this, where you might gain 500 feet or so in the up and down, in a P-51, it might be several thousand feet because there's just a lot more energy. So I'm just going to do one to the right here. So this is just up, and what we're doing is we're trying to just go up and turn, and just try to. And I have to add a little more rudder as we get going over the top here, just to keep, see right there, I need a little more, I can feel it, I need more right rudder, and then it'll start coming back down again. And we're just gonna start rolling back out. The idea is we'll go back the other direction. Let the nose drop. And we're trying to do 180s basically is what we're doing, and it's nothing critical about doing exactly 180s. But what you're trying to do is just get to where you feel comfortable just going back and forth here. And again, if we wanted to do the aerobatic version to this, we would get chutes and we could do a lot more aggressive stuff. But this is it's just really about trying to keep the ball fairly close to the middle, and you're glancing in at it. I can't see it from here, but I'm trying to just feel in my butt that we're relatively coordinated. A little more left there. So next, let's go ahead and we'll practice a spin. We're plenty high. We're almost 5,500 feet, which is plenty high. This airplane is a great spinning airplane. We can choose to go left or right. There's no right or wrong answer. We'll go to the left today since this airplane likes to go more left than right. And the fun part about it is, can we not only do the spin, but can we actually be thoughtful about where we exit the spin? Because once you get more comfortable with that, the concept of getting into a spin is no big deal because you have the confidence to get out whenever you want. And it gets to be fun to figure out, when do I want to get out of this spin? Do I want to do one turn? Do I want to do 2 turns? All right, we've cleared the area, so now I'm going to slow the airplane down, power back, carb heat on. We're not over any houses here, so we've got a nice place to do these spins. And again, I'm just looking straight ahead. I don't really need instruments. I'm just trying to keep the airplane straight ahead, and I'm raising the pitch angle as the airplane slows. As soon as I get that buffet, basically the stall, I'm going to go full left rudder and full back stick. And I'll try to go 1 turn. Right? I haven't done these in a while on this airplane, but we'll see if I can get close to 1 turn. So sticks all the way back. It's going to start to go in a second here. There, sticks all the way back. I'm going to go, there it goes left rudder. So around we go. I'm going to go right rudder, and there's roughly 1 turn. That might have been 350 degrees. And then I powers all the way off, and now I'm going to start adding power. We'll climb back up, and I'll let you do one.
Okay.
But this airplane's got a great rudder. It stops easily. The airplane's very predictable. In fact, I'll go ahead and hand the airplane back to you.
Okay, my airplane?
Yep, your airplane. It's often kind of nice to do it heading towards something you can see, in this case like the sun. You're going to want to come out facing towards the sun.
Yeah.
So let's bring the power all the way back to idle. You can give it carb heat. There you go.
Carb heat.
Yeah. And then just, keep pitching up to hold altitude. You don't need to gain any altitude, but to hold it. As it slows, you'll need more back pressure. So just keep holding that nose up. There you go. That feels good. Okay, there's our stall warning. As soon as you feel the shaking of the airplane actually stalling, then we'll go to full left rudder and then stick all the way back. Keep pulling back on the stick so we can get a little more. There you go, full left rudder. Okay, that's great, awesome. Okay, now full right rudder and forward stick. There you go. You can now neutralize everything and start pulling back on the stick gently. Nice, you went a little more than 1 turn, but that was awesome. Woohoo!
Cool.
Okay, power up, get the carb heat in. Let's climb back up. We'll do another one of those because it's fun to practice those.
Yeah.
And we'll head back to the airport. How'd that feel?
That was fun, yeah.
It is fun, isn't it?
I was less disoriented in it than I thought I might be.
Yep. One thing you'll start to get used to, and you've flown airwheel airplanes, so I'm sure you know this part, but you can feel the ball just in your butt. They talk about flying by the seat of your pants. You can feel it. Whichever butt cheek feels heavy is the rudder, the foot you should push, the rudder you should push. And so I'm always trying to feel that. Every once in a while, I just kind of resettle in the seat. So, okay, does it feel like both butt cheeks have the same amount of weight on them? If one has more than the other, that's the foot I'm going to push and try to get it back to where it feels even. So if you can't see a ball, that's another way to get pretty close.
Okay, that makes sense.
And how about on this one, let's do 1.5 turns.
Okay.
Just for fun, because it doesn't matter, the airplane doesn't care. Okay, so let's go ahead and slow the airplane down now, and you can go ahead and bring the carb heat in. There you go. Ball in the center, make sure it's staying coordinated. This is looking good. There you go. Yeah, nice and coordinated. That feels good there. And again, we'll go around 1.5. So this time we're going to go about 1.25, and then we'll give it full opposite rudder.
Okay.
There we go. There you go. Full left rudder. Okay. So there's 1.5. So right rudder. Ah, nice. That was perfectly 1.5. Okay, then neutralize the rudder. See how it drifted off to the right? Then
Yeah.
Back pressure. Yep, there you go. And start adding power and bring in the carb heat too. You can take that off. There we go. Nice. And we'll climb back up to the right.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. And there's a couple things you'll notice about spins is they have an oscillation to them. So a one-turn spin will have a certain thing. Once it'll then often oscillate and then pick up speed as it heads into the second spin, which is what that one did. And then you did a great job. You did the opposite rudder, it stopped, and then the only thing that happened is you kept the right rudder in once the spin stopped.
Yeah.
And that's why we drifted off to the right a bit. But otherwise, you actually stopped right at 180 degrees, and that felt great.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
cool. And the key, and I see some of these accidents out there today, is that my sense as I read a lot of the accident reports out there is that a bunch of people end up getting into that stall condition. The yaw starts to happen, so the airplane's beginning to go towards a spin, and because they haven't done what you and I just did, they panic, and they do exactly the wrong thing, which is pulling back on the yoke because they're trying to pull the nose up as it starts to go down. And all that's going to do is accelerate the spin and basically guarantee that you're now going around. So to me, what we just practiced today is so important, and having comfort with it, knowing how to stop it, and not panicking if you happen to see a visual image where you're pointed down at the ground. So I think, in my view, everybody should go out and practice these kinds of things because they're not only good for you safety-wise, they're actually a lot of fun. Let's head back towards Frederick, and we'll go do some landings.
All right.
All right, and so for the landing, since this is your first landing from this airplane, let's just do a normal landing. Nothing crazy. We'll see what the wings are as we get closer. And the other thing is let's do a 3-point landing. So this is where we're going to go back to that sight picture that we saw right before we took off. And we're going to try to have the airplane touch the runway at the same time we see that sight picture. And as is always the case in any airplane, and definitely a tailwheel airplane, if the airplane kind of starts bouncing or getting sideways or skipping, just add power and go around. No big deal. We'll practice a slip as we get close, so I'd actually rather be a little on the high side, just like you are. This feels actually great. I like this altitude. If you had a problem, we got plenty of altitude to do something about it. And if it's gusty, I'd say I'm just kind of feeling the airplane right now. I think this actually feels like a pretty good speed here right now. So 75, okay. Let's just do 75, no flaps. And if you start to see that runway rising in your sight, add power because it means that we're going to end up coming up short. And I'd rather be high and then slip down than low and drag it in. So I'd actually add a little bit of power right now.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we have plenty of energy, plenty of altitude. There you go. And just point the nose down a bit just so it doesn't get too slow. There you go. This is good. And we're going to end up having to probably add, this feels pretty good, actually. But right now you can kind of feel this descent is coming down. So just, I would add a little bit of power here. It's also a little bit gusty. See how the airplane's bouncing around? We want to definitely have plenty of energy as we round out. We've got lots of runways, so especially this first one. There's no need to get this perfect. So go ahead and push the nose down a little bit, but power off. So you have a little bit more up. There you go. Like you can see better, I can see better. But as it starts to accelerate down like this, you'll not yet, but you'll have to add a little bit of power at the end, most likely. This feels good though. You just kind of work your way towards the center line. There you go. Let it get a little closer to the runway before you're in the flare. There you go. Just hold it off here. Just like you're doing. A little bit of left aileron like that. Just like you're doing. Just hold it right here. perfect. Oh, it's gonna be great. Oh, so nice. I got see how it skipped? It's okay, just hold it here. That's great. Stick all the way back and a little bit of left aileron. There you go, yeah, there you go. There you go, good. Good, good, good. All right, so now we're ready to go. So a little more left aileron just since we got, there you go. And now let's add power and just drive down the middle of the runway. Lift the tail up a little, oh, there you go. See, that's all right, you did a 3-point takeoff, that's
Yeah.
okay, it's not gonna hurt. Nice, that was good. Thing goes up pretty good, doesn't it?
It does, my goodness.
So yeah, let's make this another touch and go. Do another 3-point landing. So practice with that. And then once the airplane's stable on the ground and everything, you're kind of done landing. Then go ahead and bring the power up. Then once the tail starts to come up, you have to pull the power back. And then see if you can keep it on. And if the airplane starts to skip and come off the ground, no big deal. Just add power and we'll just go. Because this is something that's, you know, it takes a while to practice it, but it's really fun. And it's more than fun. It's really a good hand-eye feet coordination exercise. And then in the turn here, if you do want to slip to come down, just add left rudder. You don't have to do anything different. Just keep the turn going. But just add left rudder. It turns it into a slip. There you go. Yeah, perfect. All right, looking good. Yeah, you can do a little more of a slip, and that'll burn off a little more energy. There you go. A nice aggressive one like that. That's great. Airplane doesn't care. Okay, so now you can give yourself some time to get stabilized and see how things feel. It's feeling pretty good. There you go. Feeling good.
Rudder Tower 53010,
All right,
downwind midfield for runway 5.
Go.
For 53010, runway 5, clear to land.
Okay, stick into the wind, so more left
Runway
aileron.
5,
There you
clear
go.
to
Good.
land,
Nice. There you go.
53010.
That was fun. Okay, so now add some power. I'll get the carb heat off for you. So just add, I got that. So just add a little bit of power, a little more than that. And see if we can get the tail up. Push the tail up. There you go. Now power back a little bit, just so we don't go fly. And I just drive it down the runway and just work to keep it on the center line, even a little bit less power, right about there. That's what you do there. I just drive it down and keep it on the center line. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is going to get you that feeling for it. There you
Yeah,
go. Oh,
yeah.
you're doing great. Okay, now let's add some power. We'll just go around. And so that exercise that we just did helps you start to feel, okay, when I see the nose just begin to go, I can come off that control input and that'll stop it immediately rather than swerving down the runway.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll do one more of those and we can kind of declare victory on the day.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So this is good. You can start bringing the power back now. We're plenty high, but this is, I like being high, and then we'll practice. Maybe what we'll do here is we'll practice with your left and right slips.
Okay.
So if we wanted to do a left slip, what would you do?
It'd be right rudder, left aileron.
Yep, exactly. So and this would be normally what you do if the wind's from the left. You would normally do a left slip. But let's go ahead and do a right slip just for a minute, just to practice it. So just the opposite of what you just
Papa
did.
Echo, contact Potomac departure, good
There you
day.
go. Yeah.
We're doing departure, thanks.
And you can do a slip either direction. There's no right or wrong. Generally, if the wind, though, is favoring one side, is on the one side of the runway or the other, there is a better slip than another because you generally want to be slipping towards the wind.
Yeah.
So which would be the opposite of what we're doing now, but I asked you to do this, so that's good. But let's go back to a left slip. There you go. Nice. And these are just such great ways, and in reality, you can do this in any airplane. I'm always surprised by the number of people I fly with that feel uncomfortable doing slips, even though they're great techniques, especially if you ever had an emergency in any kind of plane.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great way, rather than getting low, you can always bleed off energy and altitude with a slip. All right, so I would come out now, give yourself, there you go, yeah, good catch with the power, that was awesome. Now just land the airplane, as simple as that.
For 2342 uniform, Frederick
There you go.
Tower, where do you want to land? At Alpha Golf, or do you want to go to the grass?
Come on.
Which uniform
Go.
requesting the ground?
Let's just hold that
Arrival
aileron into the
corridor
wind,
for
so
runway
left aileron,
5.
there you go. And then we'll take the
Remain
next
1
exit.
mile west, and
Sounds
we'll
good.
stay
Nice
clear of the
job.
arrival corridor for runway 5.
All right, well done.
Yeah, that was great.
That was fun, huh?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
To me, what's so important about it is not only are you building skills that are relevant whether you're flying a corporate jet or an old vintage airplane or anything in between, but you're also having a ton of fun. And to me, that's what's so enjoyable about it. And you end up not having to worry too much about things because you have this magical erase button in your left hand lever that gets you back off the ground. So if you can go out there and do some of these landings like we were doing or any of the other maneuvers, and if you don't like it, just stop and go around and do it again. So Aviation's supposed to be fun, and doing things like we did today is all about learning, but also having a ton of fun.